What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're talking about 10 very specific fragrances, or colognes as they are known in the mass market, and these just get the job done. They do the trick. They smell great. Majority of them perform really well. Some of them you might have to reapply depending on how it works out for you and what you have planned for the day, but these are highly likable. We've got a few niche in here. We've got some more popular designers that might be familiar. Maybe it's your first time hearing of them, but they all are great at, doing what you need them to do. Working in every situation, smelling good to others, potentially getting you a compliment, and enhancing your confidence because you know you're smelling good. So let's talk about them. Stay tuned. Starting with one of the better blue aquatics to come out in a long time, it is Acqua di Gio Profondo. We have newer versions that have released recently. There's a re-release of this one called Profondo Eau de Parfum, which I do have, which is a slightly fresher take on the exact same DNA. The citruses, that orange smell, mimosa, the mineral notes, the fresh spicy green, hefty hit of aquatic. It's the same fragrance, just slightly fresher. Great performance, pulls people in. One of the better synthetic marine type fragrances out there that's, a great performer, good at pulling people in, getting a compliment or two. Works great in the summertime, but if you're the type that just wants something fresh and easygoing that's easy to like, you can definitely rock this one year round. I would highly encourage getting your nose on this one if you've never smelled Profondo for one reason or another, because it is that good. It's Acqua di Gio Profondo. Now, if you want to step your game up a little bit and you want crazy performance, your nose will wear out to this one a little bit. You'll maybe think it's not as strong as it is, but turns out that's why your nose wore out. It's really strong, but it's really good at getting compliments. It's Parfums de Marley Percival. Kind of smells like a higher quality take on a timeless men's designer classic from Abercrombie & Fitch called Fierce. This would be the way to go. You're going to spend a lot more. You're going to spend in the mid $100s to $200 price range for a 75 ml or 4.2 ounce, 125 milliliter bottle. That you only need the 75 because you don't need many sprays. 2, 3, 4 if you're feeling frisky. Sprays will fill every room you walk into. People will smell you. It's got a very high compliment factor. It's a little fruity, clean and musky, fresh, spicy, and woodsy. It's highly attractive, masculine stuff. Definitely doesn't smell natural, but a natural smell doesn't mean smells really good to others. Just means smells natural. So you have to look at it that way. It's synthetic, sure, but it pulls compliments. It performs really well. It's Percival. Now, from two home run performers to the fragrance that made me decide to do this video topic in the first place. I wore it yesterday. It is a modern men's classic. Came out in 06. It's still timeless. Get off the performance high horse and just refresh because it is that good. It's Yves Saint Laurent's L'homme. It was a nice rebuy, revisit that immediately my wife was sniffing and sniffing and sniffing all over me because she couldn't stop sniffing it because it smells so good to her, as it does to me. Fresh, creamy, resinous, ginger spiced, woodsy, very, very aromatic, masculine, timeless stuff. This is a fragrance that helped to set men's fragrance down a path that it's been riding on for, the better part of 2 decades at this point. Like I said, it came out in 06. It spawned a countless number of flankers that even has a flanker that got so popular, it spawned its own line of flankers. We're talking about La Nuit de l'Homme, which is a flanker to this. It's timeless. It'll always smell good. You're looking at 3 or 4 hours in longevity. At least that's what I get. You may get more, you may get less, you may get exactly the same. Seems like that's kind of the consensus for most people. So sure, it's not ideal for an 8, 10, 12-hour workday, but keep a small decant with you. Hell, keep the bottle with you in your bag if you can and you want to refresh throughout the day, because it is one that deserves that level of respect because you're going to smell good. People are going to smell you in those few hours that you get out of it. The compliment factor is high. The likability factor is high. The wearability factor is super high. It's YSL L'homme. Affordable niche at its finest. This is one I've always recommended that people check out if you want to kind of elevate your game beyond what designers have to offer without really stepping into too much of a challenge and not spending a lot of money. Anywhere's around the $70 to $80 price point. You can get a 120 milliliter 4-ounce bottle of Mancera's Cedrat Boise. Highly likable, versatile, masculine stuff. Wicker basket, full of fruits. Has this dry, woodsy smell, a little touch of leather with a variety of sharp citruses and lightly sweetened fruits. Like I said, you get grapes, you get lemons, you get black currant, you get all of these different things from this fragrance. Above average performance. It's not a monster like it once was, but it's not weak like some of the stuff you'll read on the internet. That's a nose fatigue thing. I don't care who wants to argue in the comments with me about it. It's nose fatigue. This is not some watered down 2 or 3 hour fragrance. You can expect on average anywhere from 5 to 8 or 9 hours in longevity. Depends on the sensitivity of your sense of smell and the skin chemistry you get from this one. But it trails really well. It's extremely likable. This steps your game up without going too far out of left field to where you feel like you're wearing something challenging, or maybe your confidence level drops a little bit because you're not sure how people will respond to it. It's not that kind of fragrance when we're talking niche. This is affordable, mass marketed, highly popular, internet community darling type of fragrance that, like I said, very accessible, very easy to understand, and very likable. It's Mancera Cedrat Boise. Very charismatic fragrance. My wife's favorite version of Armani Code. My favorite version of Armani Code. It is the Eau de Parfum. I know there's a new version of it that's supposedly slightly different. This is the previous rendition. This is a nice lavender tonka bean combination. It's aromatic, fresh. You get a beautiful powdery sweet vanillic tone with a light touch of spice. Provocative, highly likable, seductive type of scent profile that can get away with being a daily wear in the cooler weather. Not something I would want to rock in the summertime, but fall and winter, if it's your jam, it's your jam. You can totally rock this one during the day. And of course, it's a stunner for date nights, year round, evenings out, first impressions, first dates, 10th date with your steady girlfriend, 1000th date with your wife. It works. It smells great. It performs great. You don't need a lot of sprays. It's the come hither type. It will pull her in. Super likable stuff right here, guys. It's Armani Code Eau de Parfum. 90s classic. It still works. You can get it for around 20 bucks. It's still super likable. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You're going to have to blind buy it more than likely. It's 20 bucks. Give it a shot. It does smell of its time, but it still works today. It's Versace blue jeans. So you're going to get citruses. It's a little fresh and spicy. There's a touch of florals here. There's a nice muskiness to it. It's woodsy. There's actually more complexity than you would think. Super uber fresh and actually performs really well. I still, to this day, get like 8-9 hours out of it. In longevity, it's really strong for about 2 hours. This one will surprise you. Be wary of overspraying this fragrance. It might be a little much. You know, for all the different Versace fragrances that get love, Pour Homme / Signature, whichever one you'd like to call it, the Eros line, the Dylan Blue fragrance, which is kind of a cult classic at this point in the online community. They're phenomenal fragrances, especially if you want somebody to tell you smell good. The probability really goes up with those. But don't get away from the 90s classics. Some of them just work any given time, any given situation, no matter what you're wearing. Doesn't have to be jeans and a t-shirt like I'm rocking. Sure, the name indicates it works great as a blue jean kind of fragrance. But even in dressier occasions, it's hard not to like this when you're not going to spend a lot of money. It is true bang for your buck. It's Versace blue jeans. Now, if you want some more of that modern sweetness that really is going to pull her in, high compliment factor, you get toffeed sweetness, cardamom spice, nice ambery resinous tone. Azzaro, the Most Wanted Intense Eau de Parfum, the original of the Most Wanted. There's 3 of them now, which is kind of a subsidiary line within the Azzaro Wanted line itself, because you have the Most Wanted, you have the Most Wanted Parfum, and you have the Most Wanted EDT Intense, the newest one. I still think this is the best of the bunch personally. All 3 are fantastic fragrances. You can't go wrong with any of them, but they suit different personalities. And in cooler weather, if you're looking for something daytime that's really attractive, that doubles as a great evening scent, that's where this comes in. It's not overwhelmingly strong projection, but it's very present, very pronounced. It lingers in the air with some good sillage, and it lasts every bit of 8, 9, 10 hours. It's the modern designer sweet fragrance style that has been done to death by a lot of companies, don't get me wrong, and Azzaro is no different for that. But here, I don't know, it's just something about that toffee cardamom combination that just, magnifique. You know what I mean? It just smells so good. It's Azzaro, the Most Wanted. Now, I was late to the party with this one, but it's definitely a party I'm glad to be hanging at these days because it's one of my favorite blue fragrances. Highly synthetic stuff, but super attractive and versatile in my opinion. It is Carolina Herrera's Bad Boy Cobalt. So with this one, you can expect a fruity plum sweetness at the top. It offers a similar tone to another popular fragrance, semi-popular fragrance, an Invictus Platinum. If you lose some of the green elements of that and you just tie in that fruity sweetness at the top, you get something similar with a little bit of Coach for Men's Dry Down, that highly synthetic, fresh, spicy, kind of suede leather type of smell, clean and musky, very blue, as the bottle would indicate. Easy to like. It actually loses some of that sweetness as it dries down. It just becomes more and more likable and versatile as it settles into its dry down. I get above average performance. I get every bit of 8 hours of longevity out of this. I get great projection for a good hour and a half to 2 hours. It actually performs really well for me. This is highly likable. I love to wear this one. And when you really love wearing your scent, your confidence level is going to go through the roof. It just puts you in a better mood. And your mind state, your overall, what you're putting out into the universe, your energy you're putting out is going to have a big role in the potential of getting that kind of obscure compliment that a lot of people are looking for, which I hope that's not the main reason you're wearing a fragrance. But look, I'm not going to sit here and act like it doesn't make you happy when somebody tells you you smell good and you really like what you smell and you think you smell good and somebody else tells you you smell good. You know what that means? Damn it. You smell good. And with fragrances like Bad Boy Cobalt, you'll smell good. Another unnatural smell. You'll notice a theme here. These blue synthetics, these designer fragrances, they're attractive without smelling of natural origin. So loads of aldehydes, fizzy, fresh, bright. You get a little bit of sweetness. You get some citruses. You get some musk. You get YEDT. YEDT is highly likable. I think it's the best one to start with. They have a bunch of different options in this line, and all of them smell good. They're all good fragrances, some better than others, obviously, but tried and true. Go with the original Eau de Toilette. It's not going to overwhelm anyone. It's attractive. It pulls people in. It's got all of that likable freshness that works in high heat while still being deep enough to work in cooler weather. This is like true signature scent kind of stuff here, guys. It's beautiful. I would highly encourage, if you've never tried Yves Saint Laurent's Why, you should figure out the answer to the question on why you haven't tried Why yet, because it's good. It's not just good. It's really damn good. It's super popular for a reason. It gets overshadowed by a lot of its newer versions, its flankers that have come out since, but don't forget about the original, because the original is what set us down the path. The original is so good that it warranted creating a fragrance line behind it. Definitely check out YEDT. And the same thing I just said about YEDT can be said about this EDT. It's so good, it set us down a path of successful, highly likable flankers that are all fantastic. I have all of them. I'm a big fan of this fragrance line. It is Emporio Armani's Stronger With You. This is the original. This is the Eau de Toilette. This is that cinnamon spiced, sweet vanillic, bright aromatic, roasted chestnut dry down fragrance. Has true character, depth, highly charismatic. This will pull people in. It's a cozy, come hither, sexy, seductive type of fragrance. Not something I would just say, hey, rock this one during the day, even in the cold weather. But you know what? You're going to dinner. You want to make a great first impression. You want to seem like you got it going on. You know what you're doing without overstating and making too much of a statement, too forward of a thing, but not being too restricted, reserved at the same time. This is a good happy medium kind of fragrance for that first impression, for a first date, for a first few dates. You know, this is a fun guy. This is a fun guy that doesn't take life too seriously, but also isn't too lackadaisical to where he doesn't have his shit together either. Kind of a good way to look at this. This is the happy medium. This is the line, that fine line you want to walk between the two. This fragrance represents that guy. That's how I feel about it. So that's probably why I like this fragrance, and I like the entire line, because they all kind of walk that path, some a little more daring than others, some a little safer than others. But this is the one that started us down that path. Definitely check it out if you haven't yet. It's Stronger With You. Well, that's the 10 that I wanted to discuss with you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Of these 10, what are you familiar with? What have you tried? Some perform better than others. Some are more synthetic than others. But in my experience, all do the job as stated through each segment and work really well. If you're looking to get compliments, raise your confidence, just get the job done. These 10 will get the job done. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these 10 and you give them a spray now, you'll probably end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.